edition of Real Talk with TUMI. I am TUMI Ojo. Last week we started on the discussion the role of family in eradicating rape in Nigeria and globally. We were able to pinpoint others' perspectives on what rape is and how we can combat these frivolous acts. This week, we will be doing a documentary on the overview of rape generally and how we can combat rape in our society. And also, we'll be focusing on the girl child and women, because a large fraction of victims of rape are women. Why? Because they are defenseless. Why? Because they are vulnerable. Join me on this journey together as we look at how we can combat rape in our society. We will be right back. Rape culture is a social environment that allows sexual violence to be normalized and justified, fueled by the persistent gender inequalities and attitudes about gender and sexuality. Sexual violence has become an increasingly prevalent act in Nigeria over the years. There has been little implementation of effective policies that treat sexual violence as a serious crime, which has led to more and more perpetrators walking free. Sexual violence, rape in particular against girls and women, is a sad reality in Nigeria in particular and some parts of Africa. Like other crimes that go unreported, rape is mostly unreported to former agencies of social control in Nigeria, partly due to trust gap, associated stigma against the victims, fear of stigmatization, cultural barriers, religious sentiment, and the powerlessness of the victim in pursuing justice. In Nigeria, the criminal and the penal codes view rape as a serious offense based on how they define the crime. Thus, rape is defined under the Section 357 of the Nigeria Criminal Codes, which is applicable to the southern part of Nigeria, as any person who has unlawful carnal knowledge of a woman or girl without her consent, if the consent is obtained by force or by means or threats or intimidation of any kind, or by fear of harm, or by means of false and fraudulent representation as to the nature of the act, or in the case of a married woman, by personating her husband, is guilty of an offense which is called rape. In the northern part of Nigeria, rape is defined under Section 282 of the Penal Code is a man is said to commit rape who has sexual intercourse with a woman in any of the following circumstances: A. Against her will. B. Obtained by putting her in fear of death or of hurt. C. With her consent when the man knows that he is not her husband and that her consent is given because she believes that he is the man who she is or believes herself to be lawfully married. D. With or without consent when she is under 14 years of age or of unsound mind. Sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife is not considered as rape if she has attained to puberty. The two definitions shows that in Nigeria, the conception of rape is seen as being perpetrated only by man against women, and not vice versa. In other places, this is not the case because it has also been recognized that a man can also be victim to rape and it may be perpetrated by any person, including a woman or man. So, how can we combat and work towards eradicating rape culture in Nigeria? Number one, pressurize the government. It is important that as citizens, we pressurize the government through safe protest, social media, letting them know enough is enough. Government tends to take actions once highly pressurized to do so in most democratic states, especially as the voice of the citizen can catch the attention of the media both nationally and internationally, which leaders would want to avoid as this breeds negative perception. Number two, educational intervention. Educating youth in particular and raising awareness about Nigerians' rape culture is extremely important. From workshops to book conferences, we need to ensure that the Nigerian population is informed and provided with risk reduction procedures. Number three, self-defense training. Being able to protect yourself in situations of vulnerability is extremely important. Taking it upon yourself to make sure that you can defend yourself physically to some extent is highly important in unsafe environments. Number four, break the silence. Unfortunately, sexual violence is highly stigmatized in Nigeria, which leads several victims to remain silent. The victim is often blamed due to several unfortunate practices such as gender bias. There is also the false perception that men cannot get raped, which leads several male victims to keep silent. But remaining silent will never help the situation. Speaking up about your experience and informing the necessary authorities is a step in the right direction. Letting perpetrators walk freely will only lead to more cases of rape and no justice for you or any other victims of sexual violence. Number five, invest in women. Donate to organizations that empowers women, amplify their voices, support survivors, and promote acceptance of all gender identities and sexualities. Number six, start or join the conversation. Talk to families and friends about how you can work together to end rape culture in our community. And lastly, don't laugh at rape. It is never a funny punchline. Rape jokes delegitimize sexual violence, making it harder for victims to speak up when their consent is violated. Thank you very much. Welcome back to Real Talk with TUMI. I hope you have been able to learn one or two things on the show. Before I go today, I want to tell you that rape is a deadly act and we must combat this thing, and together we can achieve it. Perpetrators, I will tell you that you will one day be brought to justice. Let us say no to rape. Let us say no to victim blaming. Let us end sexual assault. Parents, family, uncles, relatives, I will tell you to stand up and let us together combat this evil heart. Join us next week on another edition of Real Talk with TUMI. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at TUMI Ojo, and also you can send your feedback and comments to my Facebook account at Tumisile Okoyemi Ojo, or to 081 888 472. Once again, 081 54 888 472. Till next week, bye for now.